So we're going to start off with a quick review from yesterday since I was not here. I was at the high school. Okay, so we need to make sure we have a good understanding of what rates and unit rates are. You good with that? So, who can tell me what a unit rate is? Crickets. What is unique about a unit rate? What is a rate? How about we talk with our neighbors? What do you remember from yesterday's lesson? Let's talk real quick. Okay, something. All right, what do you remember? Elian. So, like an equivalent ratio? Yes, absolutely. Rates and unit rates are equivalent ratios. Let's not use the word ratio when we talk about this. We're going to use the word rate. So what is different between a rate and a ratio? Okay. A rate is going to compare two different units. Anyone give me an example of a rate? Elian.
1 cup of lemon juice to a liter of water.
So that's going to be a ratio. Okay? A rate could be we drive 50 miles in, let's go 5 minutes. That's way too fast. I don't want 5 minutes. Let's do 60. That's what it is. That is a rate. We are comparing miles and minutes. Okay, what do you remember about a unit rate? There's one really important thing you needed to remember about a unit rate. There's a certain number that we have to use or have to have throughout. 1. Where does 1 go? Colin? On the bottom, the denominator. We need to get to 1 minute. A unit rate is when your rate has 1 in the denominator. So how do we get from unit rate, or how do we get from rate, this is called your rate, to the unit rate? Megan?
60 divided by 1.
Not 60 divided by 1. How do we get from 60 to 1? I think you're close.
Divided by 1?
You're close.
Right, try it.
Divide by 60.
Divide by 60. A number divided by itself always gives you 1, right? Think about a division problem. If you have 60 apples and you have 60 friends, how many apples does each person get? They would get 1 because each person is distributed. Okay? So what would we do to the numerator then? What are we going to do up here? This goes back to what Elian said. Chloe? Divided by 60. That keeps them equivalent. You get an answer here. You can type that into your calculator. 50 divided by 60. Okay, that's a repeating decimal. So, it should be, we're going to round to the nearest hundredth, get 0.83 miles per 1 minute. What is 50 miles in 60 minutes called? What is that? This is called a This is a rate. What is 0 and 83 hundredths miles per 1 minute called? Colin. A unit rate. What has to be true to have a unit rate? I cannot stress this enough. What has to be true? Good. The bottom number, the denominator, has to be 1. So let's try a couple more here. If, let's see here. Who thinks they're strong? Chris, you strong? All right. Chris can do 75 push-ups in 3 minutes. 75 push-ups in 3 minutes. What is this called? I just asked this question. 75 push-ups in 3 minutes. What is that called, Alistair? That is our rate. How are we going to find the unit rate? Mark. Good. We need to have a unit rate 1 minute. When you are going from a rate to a unit rate, you will always divide by your denominator in the rate. You will divide by 3. What are we going to do to 75? Divide by 3. How many push-ups can we do per minute? What is the unit rate? You're taking 75 divided by 3. What do you get, Alistair? 25 push-ups per 1 minute. Chris, you think you can do 25 push-ups per minute? Yeah, you can. You got it. Okay. All right, so that is rate, unit rate. You always go from a rate to a unit rate. You just divide by the denominator and the rate. Whenever you do the denominator, you must do the numerator. Try another one. We can do 120 sit-ups in 5 minutes. See if you can find the unit rate on your notebook paper. So write the rate, find the unit rate. Okay, 120 sit-ups per 5 minutes. That is called the, altogether, rate. All right, we want to get to the unit rate. What has to be true in the unit rate? What has to happen to make it a unit rate? Throughout. What's that? Divide and get to 1. Right? We need to get to 1 minute. Our denominator has to be 1. How do we always get to a denominator of 1? Bryce. 5 by 5 in this case, so we're always going to divide by, Colin? The denominator in the rate. To get to your unit rate, you always divide the denominator and your rate by both the denominator and the numerator. Okay. How many sit-ups can we do per minute? What is 120 divided by 5? Will? 24. 24? Yeah. Do we agree with 24 sit-ups? per 1 minute. Think you can do 24 sit-ups per minute? Maybe that. But doing it for 5 minutes? That would be intense. Okay. You think you can handle this? We good? All right. Again, our goal today is to be able to find unit rate when given the rate, or find the rate when given the unit rate. So we'll go back and forth with those. We completed Math Olympics, and we are now moving on to the best video ever. Are you ready for this? I think you are all going to enjoy this video. Move it over here. Enjoy. If it goes.
It's Rady, the math cat. That cat who's great with rates.
Which is this fish cost?
Fish costs $3 per pound. That's $6 for every 2 pounds.
Thanks, Rady.
Turn off the shower, you're wasting water.
Okay.
She's right. Water flows through that shower head at 3 gallons per minute. You've been showering for 10 minutes. That's 30 gallons of water down the drain.
Get out of the shower.
You're eating 1 apple per person. 5 apples, 5 people. $10 per lawn mow and 5 lawns in the neighborhood. That's $50. 4 commercials per commercial break. Half a gallon of milk per week. That's 1 gallon of milk every 2 weeks. 2 hours of gameplay per day. That's 14 hours per week.
Are you all impressed yet?
Only 3 windows clean per hour?
Oh man. We still have 100 miles to go.
We'll get there soon. I'm driving 50.
You're not going 50. You're going 50 miles per hour. That means you'll go 100 miles in 2 hours.
Is that your cat?
It's Rady, the math cat.
Ooh. 1 mile per mile.
We have 2 hours in the car with him.
Maybe I'll kick it up to 70.
Meow.
It's
Rady, the math cat. That cat who's great with rates.
Alright, that first one up on the top says 228 miles in 6 hours. The rate would be 228 miles per 6 hours. Alright? How do we get to the unit rate in this problem? Colin? Good. They divided by 6 to get to 1 hour. Then we took 228 divided by 6 to get 38. You would read this. 38 miles per 1 hour. Alright? Now, what would the rate be of the second one? We have 372 students for 12 teachers. Melody.
372 students for 12 teachers.
Okay, everyone should go ahead and write this on their paper. What I want you to do is look carefully at what you have written down. Do you have 372 over 12? If you do, that's not enough. What else do you need to put? Elian.
372 students.
Good. You need to write students, or if you want to abbreviate and just write S, I'm okay with that. And T, you can write teachers, or you can just put a T for teachers. Writing what they represent is really important. So, what are we going to do to find the unit rate in this problem? Someone I have not heard from yet today. I've heard from you, Mark. I've heard from you, Allison. How about I do the teaching and you worry about yourself? Skylar, thank you. Good. We're going to divide by 12. That should give us one teacher. Remember, this becomes a unit rate because we have 1 in our denominator. We divide by the denominator in the rate. Divide by 12, so I'm going to take 372. Divide it by 12. Use your calculator. You can use your calculator on the test. This one. What is 372 divided by 12? What'd you get, Will? 31S. So 31 students over 1 teacher. Can you handle that? Okay, what I want you to do, and please do not work ahead. I know a lot of people just think, oh, I got this, I can work ahead. And then you're not paying attention, you're not reinforcing what we're going over, and sometimes you just get it incorrect. So do not work ahead. The next one, you have $47.95 in 7 hours. I want you to find that unit rate. Then the next one, everyone be careful with this one. It says $5.40 for 1 dozen bagels. What does 1 dozen represent? Chloe? Good. So I want you to cross out 1 dozen, and I want you to write 12 bagels and use that. Okay? So go ahead and answer these 2 questions. Whenever you are done, sit down, keep your feet up, and relax until we go over. All right? Okay, for the second one, what is our rate? Oh, actually, how about I do this? You're going to grade me. I'm going to be the student. You're going to be the teacher. Alright, this question is worth 2 points on a test. You can give me a 0 on this question, you can give me 1 point on this question, or you can give me 2 points on this question. Go ahead and hold up what you would give me on this test. Alright, Kara. Why are you giving me 1 point out of 2? You get that? Okay. Lucas? Didn't label any of the numbers. I have no idea what 6.85 over 1 represents. Kara, go ahead and type your calculator one more time. 47/95 divided by 7. You should get this. Alright. This would give you half credit because you do not have anything labeled. There should be a dollar bill sign in front of there. You should have an H in front of or behind your 7. There should be 1 hour. And it should be $6.85. If you're not labeling those, you don't know what the unit rate represents. So please make sure you have those on your paper. Good? You want to grade me again?
Yeah.
All right.
I always
we have $5.40 over 12 bagels, and I want to go to 1 bagel to find my unit rate. So I'm going to take $5.40 divided by 12. 0. All right. There's my work. What are you going to give me on the test if I show this work, complete my problem? What should I get? Out of 2 points. Lily, why do I get a 1? I didn't put arrows, so I have no idea how I got from here to here. So that's why we have to show equivalent ratios by telling us what we divided by. So we went to the unit rate. As always, we divided by the denominator in the rate. Divided by 12. Divide by 12. We also have a dollar bill sign right there. Anything else I need to do? Awesome. Go. All right. What we're going to do next, we're going to turn the paper over. We are going to find our unit rate and how fast we read. Okay, so I am going to give you and the person you're sitting next to an article. Talk to you and your neighbor. See if one of you has a phone on them. If one of you have a phone on them, you can pull it out. If you both have a phone on you, then the person who has the darkest shoes can use their phone. If neither of you have a phone, one of you, whoever has the darker sneakers, go ahead and open up a Chromebook and go to Google. Okay, what we are doing here is we are going, one person, whoever has the darker shirt on, so decide that, who has the dark shirt? Alright, the person with the darker shirt is going to read first. They are going to read for 120 seconds, which is equivalent to what? 2 minutes. Okay? So, they are going to read for 120 seconds. They're going to find out how many words you read in 120 seconds. Let's say someone reads 300 words. We can find the unit rate, the speed of how many words they can read per second. Okay, this is something they find out and they use in education all the time. Like how quickly can people read? How fast someone reads is really not that important. Comprehension is way more important, but we do need to make sure they track that. So that's what we're figuring out. Does that make sense? Whoever has a darker shirt is reading. The other person is watching them read. They should be reading out loud. And then they are keeping track of the time. The other person.
Wait.
Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Or you got 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds. All right. Once you and your partner are ready. Once you and your partner are ready, you can go ahead. Make sure we're not doing anything inappropriate on the phone. We're using the timer.
Yes. All right. Never met, but their early life ran
To find out how many words you can read per minute or per second, you would take the total number of words read over the 120 seconds that you read. That would be your rate. Then you can go ahead and divide by the denominator, which is 120, to find out your unit rate. So it would be the number of words per 1